it going, Josh?
Hey, Jeremy, I've heard so much about you.
Yeah, thanks for having me out. I'm Jeremy Parcels. I'm the founder of Parcels Design Studio, and happy to be out here to give you guys a tour of what we did at 8612 West 69th Place here in Arvada. This was a really fun project, so I'm happy to talk to you about it.
Here we are, another glorious day in Arvada.
In this beautiful kitchen.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting. The owners contacted me about remodeling the house with various ideas in mind. When you arrive at the house, it is kind of a typical 1960s Arvada home. Dark finishes, very poor lighting, some outdated appliances, a lot of tight spaces. The kitchen was extremely small. Most of these floor plans, the primary suite is going to be very small with a small bathroom attached to it and very little closet space. So the challenge became in the overall project was not just designing one or two of the spaces, but the overall floor plan for the entire house really needed to be improved for functionality and for the quality of life for the owners. So instead of just picking a small project and starting there, we actually started with the overall design of the entire house. So for us, it was coming up with a floor plan and a kitchen and a primary suite mainly that made sense for everyone.
So is it fair to say you wanted to kind of take an old shell and completely reimagine it in a way that suited the seller's specific needs? And what started out as redoing a couple different spaces kind of blossomed into a cohesive project that kind of went through the entire house.
Yeah, the shell is still here, most of it. You know, there really wasn't anything that was left untouched at the end of the project, which was kind of, happened for a few different reasons, but the shell is still here and it's a great house. But how do we make it not only work for these homeowners, but for modern life?
Tell me about these cabinets. First of all, I'm not very good with German. What's the name of this manufacturer here?
Yeah, so all of the cabinets throughout the majority of the home are ballerina Küchen. So they're Germany's highest rated quality and innovation cabinet maker. And what we're looking at here is a pairing of the ballerina cabinets with the Ritzenhof front. Virginia Rome. So she is the designer that came up with this pattern. Ritzenhof is a famous glass maker in Germany. They make like actual glasses, wine glasses, whiskey glasses, those sorts of things are a collective item there. And ballerina has a cooperative with Ritzenhof, where Ritzenhof has specifically designed some fronts for their cabinetry. So this is using Virginia's design for these cabinet fronts. So these are actually glass.
Okay, so when I look at this, it looks like, from someone who's not familiar with these, it's got a really sturdy design. It's got a nice contemporary modern aesthetic. Mm-hmm. Is there anything else we should know about what makes these cabinets so special or outstanding?
Yeah, so all of the cabinets feature integrated lighting that you can see. So it's LED color selectable lighting. It can be dimmed, can be color changed. Other than the Ritzenhof, you have fantastic storage beneath. This is called our free wall system, and it can support up to 150 pounds per cabinet. So they're very strongly made. The full access hinges, all soft close, you can see here. It does light up and down, so it lights inside of the cabinet as well as below the cabinet. The rest of the kitchen is what we refer to as smart glass. So this is acrylic, this isn't high gloss paint. Therefore, it does have some regenerative properties to it. It is dent resistant, scratch resistant, and antimicrobial. So it's a very high tech finish other than being just beautiful. And then all of the pullouts really are a way to hide the functionality of the space. Display cabinet, which looks like a display cabinet. There were parts of the house that had the original red oak floor and parts that we had linoleum in some areas and LVT in some areas. So we ripped out everything, left the original wood floors. We did what's called laced in with the new floors, and then the entire first floor was sanded down together and then stained with an environmentally safe water-based stain and sealer. Came out with this cool white color that we really liked, brought everything into today's current day and age.
I was kind of curious if you could kind of tell me a little bit about this backsplash, because obviously you got a very clean, very bright, right? And then you have this nice, natural element with the Amish made custom design butcher block top here to warm it up. But then you add this neat, almost like a ocean inspired aesthetic. Do you know much about this?
Yeah, so one of the original thoughts was kind of French blue country kitchen, but we wanted to bring a pop of color back into it without being an ornate mosaic of any sorts. So this is handmade Zallige tile. You can tell it's not perfect. It is wavy, it has chips, it has variation in color. It was very important to bring a sense of texture, color, and kind of an organic feel to the space that would otherwise feel a little bit cold. While it's somewhat contemporary, we wanted it to still be approachable. So the handmade Zallige tile, the natural butcher block countertop, those are all elements that help you feel a little warmer.
Not to overlook one last element here, but I believe there's a special feature here in this cabinet, right?
There is. So this cabinet was super important for all of us in our everyday lives. We have a ton of countertop appliances. So this cabinet contains all of our countertop appliances. Most importantly for them, their kettle, their coffee maker, all of their mixers now have a home.
And they're plugged in and you can pull out.
They're all plugged in. They're ready to go as they sit. They do not have to be relocated.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
During the course of the remodel, even the windows and doors needed to be updated. There's not an old door or an old window in the house. This was a really important one. This gets used a lot. They do spend a lot of time outside. They entertain outside. Oliver will cook not only inside, but outside. They go back and forth. So it's a really new cool window from Pella where the screen actually opens with the window. So when the window is closed, you don't have the screen. It's a retractable window screen. So it's really cool because it enables, Oliver to enjoy the backyard when he's cooking without being interrupted by a screen. Yet when they are entertaining and he wants to be part of the conversation, they can open up the window. So really cool window. New door from Provia. Again, bringing in a cool color. We talked about that blue. That was really important to Janelle. She got it here. Maybe a little more than backsplash, but not only a new door, but also the new storm door as well. So everything here has been redone.
Oliver, here you are. This is your space here. Jeremy and I were just talking about the journey of how you transformed this home from what it was to, your creation, and that you had a very high level of intentionality around every single thing, right? We would really appreciate you kind of, adding more. Just take us through it all.
Yeah, I would love to share. So I actually did spend a lot of time in professional kitchens because I used to work in hospitality for over 30 years. Often kitchens that are in homes are not very functional. What is always a sore spot to me is, for example, why would I have the sink with the dirty dishes facing towards my dinner party guests? So it's I want a hibachi station here. I want to throw scallops at everyone.
Yeah.
and I want the dirty dishes to disappear in the sink behind. The appliances that we have, they were actually the first step. They were already picked before we built the kitchen around it. It gave me, with the double oven setup, there's a sous vide option in the upper one. And we got the Cove dishwasher behind you here, Jeremy. It was important to us to actually have a dishwasher that functions as a dishwasher. It's as close to professional as you can get in a home. I like the clean look here. I like the clean look here. So what we did is we were hiding some of the things that we use on a daily basis and have outlets in here so that we have an espresso machine here hooked up and a water boiler for to brew tea and so forth.
And the induction top, that was important to you.
I love induction because I think it's about 24% of energy that goes into the food when you cook with gas, and the rest you heat the room with. It's all waste. And the induction heat you can regulate just as good as gas. You don't have the optical cue with the flame being smaller or larger, so there is a little bit of a learning curve. But oh boy, when I started with this thing, you don't walk away. If you just bring in a pot of water to a boil, it's not instant, but it's really, really quick.
Yeah. Only 3% heat loss with induction, and you can boil water here in Colorado, our altitude, in about 2 minutes.
And the room climate is a lot better. And we didn't want to have any acne on the ceiling. The hood vent was chosen as a flush hood vent, and we actually had to put in quite a bit of makeup air because this is do you remember this? 1600 CFM.
So for layman's people like myself, who's not a professional chef here, so if I was cooking something that would smoke a lot,
I can leave all the doors open. When you're doing laundry in the bedroom, you don't smell anything.
Because it just sucks.
It sucks everything right out.
Wow, okay. And so you got built-in storage around this amazing island.
One of the challenges with the open layout for somebody that cooks like Oliver does is where the heck does everything go?
Right.
And we design a lot of beautiful kitchens that nobody uses, but this beautiful kitchen gets used. So it became very important for us to utilize every space. So as we look at both sides of the island, we'll come over here on the dining room side, is you have full depth cabinetry storage on both sides. And these are about 39 inches wide. They'll hold up to 125 pounds. So all of the things that needed a home now have a home, and they're featured on both sides of the island.
This table seems a little bit thinner than most.
Our goal was to, seat 10 people comfortably around the table. And in a lot of homes, the longer the table gets, the wider it also becomes, which is really a waste of time. And it's kind of like counterproductive to the idea of a communal table, right? Because you have your cross sitting really far across from you. This is a 30-inch wide table. And the reason why I chose 30 inches, this was made for this space, but also, you put a dining table, 2 utensils for dessert over the top, a couple of wine glasses, and it still fits.
This is the perfect amount of space for everyone to have place setting, spot for their drink, no one's hitting their knees together, and you're not cannibalizing a bunch of space in this room, right?
Yes.
But it also makes it very conversational. Like one of the unintentional things with Oliver's dimensioning, when you're at the table, you don't feel like you're shouting across to anybody. You can sit here and enjoy a meal together directly across.
So it's a little bit
from
more
each other.
intimate.
It's much more intimate. The outdoor area has been rethought, reimagined, and redesigned. The hot tub is wired direct on its own circuit and all situated on a nice new pad.
So Oliver, I understand you and Janelle spend a lot of time out here. I think the average person can look around and make some assumptions about what you enjoy the most, but it would be great to kind of hear what are some of the features that you like the most, like help bring that to life for us.
Well, it's not always entertaining guests, right? Even if it's just us. We love to sit at the table here, have the little flame going, and look over the mature backyard with all the canopy of trees. And then as the light fades into the golden hour, the solar tiki torches come on, and it's like mood lighting, and it's a little, vacation at the end of the day.
During the remodel process, the home automation and the integration of technology became even more important. It actually started with just a Wi-Fi router, right? We didn't have great Wi-Fi in certain parts of the house. So we started discussing different Wi-Fi options, which led us into whole home automation. The house is control for home. So all the audio, all of the internet, all controlled through the same application, as well as all the security cameras around the perimeter of the house, the entryway of the house, all controlled from the same app. Everything can be seen from the same location, and it's the same thing that controls the speakers, the surround sound systems, the stereo. It's all integrated together, it all works together. We did go ahead and run gas plumbed to the fire pit, so it is automatically ready to go for a new fire table, new fire pit. Fully irrigated grass yard, as well as a drip system for the rest of the landscaping. In this bathroom, we were still challenged for space, so we had to do a couple of things to really accomplish all of the goals here. So as part of the remodel we talk about, we redid everything in this house. We literally redid everything. It has a brand new gas on-demand water heater and a new furnace with the side venting. So there is no venting running through the main floor. It all runs out the side of the house, which enabled us to use the entire space now to create a proper sized bathroom. An important aspect that they wanted was to still keep a tub. We could not have a 5-piece primary suite because we just don't have the space for it. So what we did was we kept a tub on the main floor, and we used a deep soaker tub from Kohler so that you could still comfortably have a nice soak, a tub still on the main floor, and it looks beautiful. Very sweet was 2 separate bedrooms. The majority of this room went down to the studs, complete new level 5 finishes, all new wiring. All of the fancy stuff with the home automation was brought in here as well. So what we did after we kind of got the sleeping quarters under control is we came up with a very beautiful wardrobe. It is a walk-in and it had to look nice. So we created an entire wardrobe for the homeowners where they have a place for everything. Miele washer and dryer really gave us the opportunity opportunity to put a washer and dryer on the main floor in the primary suite with a much smaller footprint than some of the modern day front loaders. So with the wardrobe, we did provide a kind of a dressing island where they have room for accessories and all kind of the ins and outs, necklaces, hats, everything has a place here in the island. They also have a place it's very convenient for them to put stuff down because it still is a laundry room and it still is a primary suite. So we did create kind of a really good storage area for both him and her, complete with tall hanging sections, short hanging sections, kind of dedicated to the different uses that you would have for them. Again, this is ballerina cabinetry again. So everything is German engineered, soft close hardware, very well rated.
Gonna last a long time.
The hardware throughout the entire house is all lifetime warranty. We did add electrical outlets. I don't think we can overlook that given the age of the house. All the electrical is completely up to modern code, so there are outlets and switches all over the place. Virtually every light in the house is on a dimmer, which is great kind of when setting the mood, and they really went the extra mile with the window treatments. They do have the remote motorized window treatments go up and down very easily. You also have the light blocking as well. So when it came to all of that, we really started creating now I would call a primary suite. The primary suite bathroom did create a little bit of a challenge because the hall bathroom was actually larger than the ensuite bathroom. So that presented our first challenge. So we did end up moving this wall out, and the other wall, we took some room from the previous bathroom and created a bigger primary bathroom. There were some must-haves, heated floors. They are on a digital control that is Wi-Fi enabled, so you can control it from your phone, tying right into the smart home applications. You do have the steam shower as well. Both of the bathrooms on the first floor do offer Toto washlets, so they do have bidets already built into them with heated seats, deodorizing dryers, night lights, automatic flushing, the whole 9 yards. So these aren't just bathrooms. This one specifically is very much a primary suite of a bathroom. We increased the square footage, but we still needed additional storage. We did use drawer storage underneath the vanities with U-shaped cutouts to take complete control of all possible areas to gain storage. So we gained some storage under the vanities. And then we have the very nice medicine cabinets, which are LED integrated. They do have makeup mirrors on the inside. Shelves are adjustable. They're a fantastic cabinet from Sidler. When we get into the steam shower, it was very important that I think it was Oliver that liked the feeling of the rocks under his feet. Oh, wow. So we did use river rock type mosaic on the floor. It's not real river rock though, it is recycled glass. So it is environmentally conscious and it does feel really good on your feet without the opportunity that you deal with when you work with natural stone where it can chip and it can crack and it has to be resealed and all of those things. This floor will last forever. Did do a ceiling mounted rain head and also a handheld coming off the wall as well. So you have plenty of showering options. And when it came to selecting the plumbing fixtures in the house, just putting in something from a box store was not going to work. So all the plumbing fixtures that you see in the bathroom are Hansgrohe, so they are German engineered. They are meant to last a lifetime and they're high quality fixtures. The shower is also thermostatic, so you can set the temperature and then change between the different functions of the showers without having to mess with temperature. This basement had been done and redone and partially done, but never done well. We had to reimagine the space down here. One of the biggest things that we had to conquer first was the movie area. It was important when redesigning this living area that there was a place to sit down and watch films, but not just watch them, to be immersed in them. So we're talking about all of the home automation. They really did a fantastic job of integrating everything and making it not obvious to the eye, right? We do have all of the ceiling speakers, the subwoofer in the wall, the nice big TV. This piece of furniture was repurposed and does a fantastic job of getting everything in its place. And we did keep a little James Bond with carpet, right? This remodel, it became important to have another place to house guests. The old bedroom really needed some work. So what we did is we reframed this entire wall. We do have a structural steel beam here that we were contending with, as well as some other vital functions to the house, like when we talk about water shutoffs and gas shutoffs in the furnace. So there was a lot of mechanical that we had to work around here. So we were able to take advantage of hiding a lot of the structural and utility elements, creating a nice big guest bedroom with its own closet, and then really making the bathroom appropriately sized and then usable. So what we did in the bathroom was a complete gut. We did have to bring in a radar company to Doppler the slab. We ended up digging out a good portion of the drain and replacing it during the remodel because it made sense to do it at that time. So we've created an entire guest bathroom, again using ballerina cabinetry with that smart glass material, dent resistant, scratch resistant. If you've got somebody staying down here with kids, they're not worried about it. This material will hold up. We did opt for the barn door style enclosure, really cool glass mosaic and then a wood looking tile with the river rock on the floor. So really kind of creating a space that can be used by guests very comfortably. It also has the built-in niches as well as the Toto bidet and a storage closet.
So usually the guest suite in a basement is an afterthought. You get all the luxury creature comforts, even down here in the basement.
We added a new egress window so it makes it a full conforming bedroom. And we also relocated the water shutoff, updated that, put a nice new cover on it so it looks pretty. Still all recessed lighting, all dimmable, all home integrated.
When I'm out showing a listing of mine, one of the first questions I get is, how old is the mechanical system and how old is your roof? Those things don't necessarily land in the exciting components of a home, but they're very important and it can be very expensive to either procure new systems or to maintain. So would love it if you could kind of talk a little bit about what we're looking at here, maybe comment on the roof.
It's ironic the way things work out because there's a lot of the interior design job that
Isn't as sexy as it sounds, right?
upstairs we talked about briefly that we needed to get rid of the venting in order to remove the coat closet. Well, in process of doing that, we put in the on-demand water heater, which is brand new, gas powered. The furnace was super important because we're in the middle of this giant remodel. We did need to move it slightly to accomplish some of our goals. It did move a little bit. If we're gonna go through all that, it really needs to be properly sized for the house and it needs to be to modern efficiency. The old unit was here, but as we discussed, the basement wasn't quite finished all the way. We really made sure that the new unit was appropriately sized and it's up to modern code venting. So both of these units are less than 2 years old.
You can expect really strong longevity with these appliances.
The roof kind of came along later in the process. As we went through it, it became necessary for the roof to be done. And so the roof was brought up to date, new asphalt shingles, and is a class 4 roof. So it's got the ice shield, the whole 9 yards, brand new roof, brand new mechanicals. I mean, really from top to bottom, everything here is brought up. The laundry room, it's a big space. It is nearly 30 feet long, but really what we did is we can get big full-size washer and dryer. So we've got the set that's upstairs in the primary suite, but this is our dedicated workhorses. We do have a full utility sink with pull-down faucet. And then as we run through, nobody can survive with one refrigerator. Right? So we did bring down the extra wine fridge here. We have the extra refrigerator and freezer. And then you have 20 feet of countertop surface for storage, cabinets for storage, organization. So when we talk about things like board games and cleaning supplies and all of that, it's all got a home. And there's even a section down here to the end where you have overflow shoe storage and really a space that you can do a lot with.
So now we're in the garage. Maybe not everybody's favorite area, one of my favorite areas. Really, the garage became important for a lot of reasons. We had to redo the electrical as we were talking. So we have brand new electrical panels. When we did that, we started talking about where everything was going with modern conveniences and new cars in the world. One of the major things that we included is this panel is fully ready for an EV charger. It just has to be hooked up and that one's ready to go. It's already planned for, it's calculated into the wattages. The storage is important as well. This is, again, it's the ballerina cabinetry, but this is cabinetry that's built to store stuff. I'll show you guys here. So it's built to store stuff. These guys camp, they go outdoors, they like to go hiking. They spend a lot of the summer up in the mountains camping. So we had to find room for camping gear. That's always a challenge. That really supported some weight. See, camping gear. It's important to have alcohol when you go camping. So we used this titanium steel finish from Ballerina. The reason I bring it up is it's actually a waterproof tow kit. So you can pull your car in here full of snow, let it go. It is not going to hurt anything in here. We are on 2-part epoxy floor, brand new garage doors, insulated with the nice new openers, but with the waterproof tow kick and the epoxy floor, got a bulletproof garage.
this is a lot of what the market doesn't have enough of and what a lot of people are seeking. A really nice appointed home in a mature setting on a 10,000 square foot lot in a great location completely supports modern day living.